Good morning, afternoon, evening, as the case may be, in your part of the world. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Zen Archer, and this camera is freezing up, but I'm going to go ahead and continue anyway. This video I'm calling Dat Ain Cookin. That's what I'm going to call this. It's bachelor cooking is what it is. You know, when you have a family and you're taking care of a family, you put a little more into the cooking because you're cooking for other people. But when you're a bachelor and you're just cooking for yourself, you just want to get food down your neck so your tummy's full and you don't have to worry about it. And sometimes that is some of the best cooking. Other times it's not. Now, what many of you don't know is that I worked both in dishwashing staff and in the cooking staff for a microbrewery called Upper Mississippi Brewing Company in Iowa, and I learned a few tricks along the way to make that home cooking not quite so bad, or maybe even better. I can cook. I'm one of those people I can cook by taste. But anyway, I wanted to show you not cooking. I wanted to show you how you cook when you're not cooking, and today I did exactly that. I didn't cook, but I made myself something to eat, and I thought I'd share it with you. So let me tell you what I made first. I made brown rice and Great Northern beans. So the first thing I did is I got my brown rice out. This brown rice here, fit and active, because that's the kind of guy I am. And it's just brown rice, and what I like about this particular rice is that the cooking ratio is 1-to-1. So if you use a cup of rice, you use a cup of water. It's really that easy. You can add salt to it, whatever you like to taste, but 1-to-1, and then you put it in the microwave from somewhere between 7 and 10 minutes, and you've got rice. So I took this, and I've forgotten where I put my my measuring cup, but I know that the rice is going to about double in the size and the volume that it is. So I just got out an old tuna can and used that as my measuring device, and I did 2 of these into a Rubbermaid I think they're supposed to be disposable containers, but into a Rubbermaid container. And I put 2 cans of rice, 2 cans of water in there, put it in the microwave, covered for 10 minutes, and then after it cooks, then you leave it for another 2 so that the rice will absorb the water that's in it. So rice is all cooked. Next thing I did was a little tip for you fellas that are bachelors. Every bachelor I know has ramen noodles. Every one of you, somewhere around your house, has got ramen noodles. So what you do is, if you don't have beef bouillon or chicken bouillon, you open up a ramen noodle, and the little packet that's inside, it usually has more in the packet than you need for the ramen noodle. So I tear it open, and I put about half of the packet in my brown rice. And I put the packet back in here. I'll have that with the noodles at another time. So rice is seasoned and all ready to go. Also, one of the other things that I add to most of my dishes is a little bit of garlic pepper, or I'm not garlic pepper, a little bit of garlic powder. I put garlic powder in just about everything. It adds something to the dish. It's good for your heart. So garlic powder is the way to go. So then my rice is done. Next on the agenda was Great Northern beans, is what I decided to use. Great Northern beans. Now, if you're making this for yourself or for others, you might want to, instead of making using Great Northern beans, which are going to mimic the same color as the rice, in order to make it more pleasing to the eye, and so, believe it or not, more palatable for those that you're serving it to, because a dish that looks good tastes better. People they want it more. It's a psychological thing. But if your presentation is a very important part of cooking. So if nothing else, make it look good. If it's just for you and you're trying to throw food down your neck, don't worry about it. So I didn't, and I just used Great Northern beans. But you can use kidney beans, pinto beans, something with some color to contrast with the rice. So that was the next thing I did, and all I did was threw those into yet another one of these containers and cooked them in the microwave for about 2 minutes. So the beans are cooked, and the rice is cooked. Now all I have to do is season the beans. I could put a little bit more beef bouillon in them and mimic what I did to the rice, but instead, one of the things that I used was this Memphis style barbecue seasoning, and I've got a good bit of it. I use this a lot. I put it in salads and all kinds of stuff, but I added a little bit of this to my beans to kind of give it that barbecue flavor. Then next thing on the agenda was, of course, I needed to salt and pepper it, and I like to use sea salt, so I got myself a little sea salt thing. I love these things. These are by, well, I can't see who makes this particular one, but this sea salt is McCormick's sea salt, and it's got a little grinder on the top with a lid, so you can grind it, and there's no setting, but you just turn it over, you grind the salt that you want, or you can take the lid off and just grind it directly into your thing. But so I put salt to taste, and then likewise, I also have my my whole black peppercorn, and that's also has one of those grinding tops. I just like those. And same thing, it has a lid on it, so you can grind a little bit, sprinkle it in, or if you want to, you can just grind it over your salad or whatever you're doing. So sea salt, a little peppercorn, and then I put a little bit of lemon peel in just to add a little zest, and garlic powder, of course. Now, if I wanted to make it hot, if I wanted to add some spice to it, some friends of mine and I were in video chat the other day, and we were talking about when you go to restaurants and fast food places, picking up the little packets and tossing them in your glove compartment or wherever. Well, I do that, and I take them home sometimes. And I always have a pack or two of Wendy's chili sauce around, so that adds a little heat to it. But in addition to that, if I really want to make it hot, I've got some crushed red pepper, and the crushed red pepper really does the trick. This has got a lot of seeds and stuff in it. It's really good. So I added all of that to, without the pepper or the chili sauce, I added that to the Great Northern beans, and mixed everything around, tasted it. It needed a little something more. It needed a little more zest to it, and the lemon peel wasn't doing it. So I went out and got my lemon juice, got my bottle of lemon juice, and took about a cap of that and put into the beans, and that was exactly what it needed. Here's a little tip for you when you're cooking, and cooking for yourself or cooking for someone else. If you don't know what it's going to taste like, or what seasoning to put in, take a bite of whatever it is that you're eating, and then while you're chewing it, take whatever spice you're thinking about putting in and smell it, and you will be able to tell what that spice is going to taste like on whatever it is that you're eating. And so you can decide if that's something you do or you don't want in the meal. And it's an easy way to kind of test it without destroying something or getting too much on when you take a bite. Just smell it while you're taking a bite. Little tip for you from your Uncle Zen. So, yeah, so that's what I did. I ended up with brown rice and Great Northern beans in a container. I separated some of the rice because I'll just eat it by itself. I prefer white rice for breakfast and stuff like that. I'll make white rice, and I'll put maybe a little bit of milk in there and a little sugar, and I eat it like a cereal. But for cooking and meals, I prefer brown rice, and so I do that. And there's so many things you can do with rice. You know, rice is a staple. Rice and beans is a staple in so many different cultures, in Mexican culture, in Asian culture. In so many places, rice and beans is a staple. I will even do a rice with the pepper flakes in it and the hot sauce in it, and then I will put that next to shrimp, and I'll do kind of a whole Cajun little thing going on, or some blackened fish, or that kind of thing, crawdads. So there's so much you can do with rice and beans. It pays for you. They're not expensive. It pays for you to have it around. And it's a good fast meal to fill your tummy. So there you go. This is my this in my bowl is cold now, but this is my brown rice and Great Northern beans. One of the things that I will tell you is if you're making it for somebody else, if you're going to do a potluck or something like that, instead of using the Great Northern beans, go with something that has a little more color to it. Use a kidney bean, for instance, so that you have the contrast of the red bean along with the brown rice, and it makes it pleasing to the eye. Then you can throw some sprigs of parsley in. You can even toss a little bit of celery in there. I like to take the leaves off the celery and put in instead of parsley sometimes. And that can make the meal. Of course, with rice you can do anything. You can add green pepper, onion, that kind of stuff. But there you go. Dat Ain Cookin by Zen Archer. Another little tip for you that has nothing to do with the beans and rice and stuff is if you eat applesauce, if you're somebody who enjoys applesauce, try some nutmeg in your applesauce. Just sprinkle a little bit in. And I also put nutmeg in my coffee, but it gives it a special something that is unlike anything else. So nutmeg is a good idea for applesauce. So there you go. Dat Ain Cookin by me. I'm Zen Archer. Thanks for watching. And I guess I should say, it's so good. It is. Trust me. Try it today. Till next time, be well.